I thought being homeless was a bit of a journey, mate. But yeah, the cocaine and the alcoholism, suicidal as anything. I'm on my last bit of cocaine. I'm either going to top myself now or I need to go elsewhere.
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Getting Back Up with me, Anthony Ogogo. In this podcast, I talk to inspiring people that have done great things above their life and or crib only after suffering or amid suffering, massive setback and adversity. This is your weekly dose of hope and inspiration. Normally with these links, I'll often record them like a week or two after I record the actual podcast, but right now, I'm recording this podcast moments after talking to today's guest, Matt Edwards. Wow, what a guy. Matt is an amputee boxer, lost a leg in an awful accident back in 2017. He struggled with drink and drugs and was almost, he was suicidal. Matt didn't give up. Matt stayed in the fight. He found boxing. He's inspiring people all around the world. This is one of my favorite podcasts I've ever recorded. So without talking too much about this intro, I want you to get straight into this podcast. Get ready for this one. It's a fascinating chat with a wonderful, inspiring guy. So without further ado, let's get stuck in. Matthew Edwards, welcome to the Getting Back Up podcast.
All right, mate. No,
I'm good, mate. I'm going to ask lots of questions today. Your story, by the way, is unbelievable. You sent me that bio last week, and I've read it and I've reread it. This is Hollywood stuff we're talking about. Your life is unbelievable. So I'm going to ask lots of questions today. I don't know where we're going to go. I've got an idea where I want to take the conversation, but we might go down a different avenue completely. But the first question, the most important question I'm going to ask you today, mate, is how the bloody hell are you?
I'm all good, mate. Yeah, just getting by. Crap weather for May. Crap weather. Don't know if you've seen the crap weather yet, but yeah, you're in Florida or USA, aren't you? So you've probably got nice weather over there.
Mate, the weather's lovely here, but it's not about the weather. This podcast is about you and your unbelievable story, mate. Where do we begin? Because like you've sent me, you sent me this bio, right? And I looked at it and I'm thinking, but yeah, one of 9 kids. Like that in itself, like I want to talk about that, but you've done so much in your life. I have no idea how even. I think we have to go miss that one today because there's just so much. There's just so much.
Yeah, we're at 1 and 9, mate. Yeah, I know. You're good for a game of hide and seek.
And you're 25. You've lived an unbelievably colourful life so far. You're gonna live an even more colourful one. I'm sure in the future. You've got life left. You've got a lot of life left to live.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know, I have some famous people on this podcast, some non-famous people. So for those that don't know who you are, who are you, like in a nutshell, and why are we talking today?
In a nutshell, I'm Matt Edwards. I'm an amputee boxer, and I lost my leg 6 years ago when I was 19 years old. I didn't box before I lost my leg. So yeah, I didn't box before I lost my leg. I pretty much boxed before I could walk again.
Really?
Oh yeah. That's kind of story short, yeah.
So ultimately, this whole journey is you lost your 2017. An extremely traumatic event happened in your life. You woke up one day. You were young Matty, and then after this incident, you were a very different Matthew. The way you looked at the world was very, very different.
Yeah, different, completely. Yeah.
I think we should start there, right? What young Matty, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 years. Who was he? What was he? Who was it? What was it all about? What was life like for you back then?
Before the crash or after the crash?
Before the crash.
Before the crash, life went great. It's just here and there really. I had a load of friends, but I was only had friends through smoking marijuana. So obviously I used to sit in my shed, just do nothing with my life, play a load of Xbox games and smoking a load of weed. Wasn't really getting nowhere with it. I had a girlfriend, it didn't really work out, loads of arguments. When I was 16, I actually got kicked out of my house. So obviously I left my family home at 16.
Really?
I started for surfing.
What was the reason, man? Obviously, being one of again, and I think the family dynamic is actually quite important to talk about. So we will come back to that if there's time later. I'd like to do this in about an hour because how we're going to get all your story in an hour, I don't know how it's going to go. But what happened? What made you get kicked out at 16?
I used to smoke a lot of weed. I used to have quite a lot of mood swings. Obviously, that's what the smoke does to your head sometimes. And obviously, being 109, my mum wanted to downgrade her house because obviously being in the bigger house, the bills were a bit too much for her and stuff. So obviously, when she downgraded, I was like, "Oh, where am I going? Where am I staying?" 'Cause she was talking to her friend on the phone, saying about where all the other brothers sisters living in the rooms and different stuff. And I was like, "Where am I going to go?" She's like, "Hey, 16, now sort yourself out." So obviously, I took that out of the chin, like, "Oh, I'll do my own thing then."
It was
So yeah,
it's cut and dry as that. 16, gone, pissed off, basically.
yeah, pretty much pissed off. Yeah, so I went to college, got an apprenticeship with my mate Sofa. I've done that for a good year as a chef. I enjoyed that. Obviously, I've done that through school. And yeah, obviously, that's when the weed started getting a bit downhill. Obviously, all I've done is smoke weed with my mates, thought it was cool. And then, yeah, obviously, smoking the weed got other places. And then, obviously, I used to smoke on the sofas and under crashing her for the night. And that's how it ended up going. But then, obviously, life changed when I got a job dry lining. Well, actually, before the dry line, I had an apprenticeship chefing. And that kept me a bit straight. But obviously, on my break, I'd go off for a little joint. So I'd still smoke the weed, which ain't ideal. And then obviously that got a bit too much for me. Being 18 years old, full-time chef, it's got a bit too much. I enjoyed it, but the money was good, but the timing wasn't great for me. So I left and went dry lining on a building site. Oh mate, that was quality. That was all the money I got from that and the laugh. It made me
You
feel
enjoyed
like a
it.
man. It did.
You enjoyed that,
Yeah,
yeah.
it made me feel a bit like a man. It's like going to the gym every day, but I got paid to do so.
That's a good way. I've heard people say that, and working on a building site, like the
Yeah,
camaraderie.
it's quality. But that's what got me off the weed. Going on the building site.
Growing up, did you feel like you belonged anywhere? Did you feel like you were a bit of a misfit? Did you belong?
No, growing up, I had ADHD, so I was a bit of a class clown. And obviously, attention wasn't at home because I had 9 siblings. Obviously, I took the attention side of things to school. I didn't get through school, didn't do well in school, mate. I had to go to military college instead of school, actually. Instead of my GCSEs, I went there. So that taught me a lot of life as well. But yeah, I was class clown in school.
Is it because you struggled? You struggled, or was it because you wanted the attention you weren't getting at home?
It was a bit of both. It was a bit of lack of attention I was getting at home, so I got it more in school if I played up. But yeah, I did like being a class clown as well. Obviously, I'm quite hectic. Like I'm 100 miles per hour. I don't sit still. I'm blah, 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 blah. So yeah, it's a bit like that, mate. You know what I mean? So obviously, me being a class clown, me having loads of energy is a bit two and two.
Fit. So, what up until the crash? Like, where was your life going? Because you said some things in that message you sent me. You said I'm gonna come back to it in a minute. You said some real powerful quotes in that. Not quotes. You've said some. Well, they are quotes. Quotes for me. But you've just. I said for people who listen to this, I said to you, hey mate, like your mate from the boxing gym said to me, hey, podcast, this guy, he's got a great story. And I was like, the awkward thing was like, so what's your story then? Then you sent me this message. And I was like, wow. Like, wow. And in this message, you said some really powerful stuff that I don't know, but maybe you do, but I don't know how powerful your words, if you know how powerful your words are. You know what I mean? But you one of the things you said was, this event that we're now going to talk about, that was the end of little Matty. So before we get to that, I want to understand who was little Matty. What was he all about? And what was little Matty's future? What was his future going to be if this thing didn't happen?
Well, who knows what my future would have been actually. I didn't actually see a future when little Matt was in the shed smoking weed, being here and everywhere, to be honest. It's just I was living every day as it comes, get my wages, spend it on weed. Next week, get my wages, spend it on weed. Little Matt would pretty much go nowhere. Yeah, I didn't really see a future in little Matt.
Yeah. So to talk about the crash, how did this thing come about? What happened? How traumatic of an life experience was it?
Well, on the 20th, 2017, on the 20th December, I was on my way to work. I was underneath my mum's stairs at the time because she took me back. I was obviously having a job. I was saving up to get a flat. That was the day I was supposed to move into my flat, unfortunately.
Was it really? Whoa.
Yeah, so I rang my boss and said, "Oh mate, I'm not doing a half day today." He said, "No, take your day off, mate. Take your day off." I said, "No, I'll come and get the money." I was like, "Oh." So I went in, but I stopped off at a corner shop. Got a pack of fags. I had a quick fag, and obviously they got back on my bike, running late. So I was speeding through the filtering the traffic, and the next thing you know, car come out, and obviously I was filtering the traffic. They pulled out, and they directly hit my left leg. And when they hit my left leg, I flew good 10 meters in the air across the traffic along the road. Yeah, that's all I can remember is that it's Christmas. And I woke up on the side of the road. All I can remember was my left leg just flapping in the wind, mate. I had a work boot on. I couldn't. Literally, all I've done is took my helmet off, put it underneath my leg to support my leg flapping. And that's all I remember doing. I was there for a good 40 minutes by the road, so I waited for an ambulance, mate.
40 minutes?
Yeah, because it was Christmas time, and the period of that time of Christmas, it was going. The NHS was going. Like, it was quite busy. So if it wasn't for the off-duty nurse on the offside, like, on the way to work, 'cause it was about 6:30 in the morning. She was on her way to work. So if it wasn't for her, then I don't know, mate. It would have been probably a different story.
Was it? Do you remember hitting the ground? Do you remember? What do you remember out of it? What impact you remember? Was it pain? Was it shock?
I remember the bike actually hitting me. Oh, I remember the car actually hitting my leg. I flew off, hit the ground, then I woke up, kind of thing. Instantly took my helmet off. It was just all confusion, really, because obviously everyone was around me, then everyone was talking to me, but it's like I couldn't see no one. It's just everyone was talking to me. And then all I remember is a light going through the tunnel. Obviously, when I got the ambulance, I have to see a light going through a tunnel. And then, it was 5 days later, I woke up from the coma, and then I looked down, and they tried to explain to me I didn't have a leg anymore. And obviously, I went, I was all on different kind of medication. Obviously, I didn't take it in at the start of it. So,
So
yeah,
you
I
woke
kind of
up.
masked it at
You
first.
woke up on Christmas Day.
Yeah, well, it was the night, well, it's pretty much Christmas morning. Yeah, I woke up Christmas morning without a leg, and obviously they put it as well. It's a good Christmas present, isn't it? So obviously my family come up for a photo on the afternoon of Christmas, got a picture and flipped off again. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's Christmas for me, mate.
You meant to get stuff, not lose stuff for Christmas, aren't you? Bloody hell,
Yeah,
mate.
I know. Yeah, well, I did sign it was anyway. I was in my wheelchair. They let me out. I had my old pee bag or whatever I was attached to. Trolley. Went down for a cigarette. But yeah, it's a nightmare.
So you're young. So you're 19 years old.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can remember, like, a bit longer than me, but a bit longer for me to remember than you. But when I was 19, I thought I was a man. Thought, I'm a geezer, I'm this, I'm that. But when you look back, you're still a little boy, aren't you? You're still a little kid.
Boy in a no man's world. Yeah.
Yeah, in a man's
You're all in
world.
your bubble, really.
You're in your little bubble trying to figure life out, and you haven't figured it out, but you think you have because you're young and you're arrogant. You think you do this, that, and the other, but you can't. So when you sat there, do you remember the doctor? So when you woke up, what was that feeling like? Woken up from the coma. What did you have, like a sore throat with a shoe was down the back of your throat? Was your body sore?
What did it feel like? I can't remember waking up really. I just woke up to a load. You know when I would like to say knocked out, but I've never been knocked out. But I've heard it's like you kind of wake up and feel a bit confused, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So when I woke up, I was a bit confused, and obviously I had my sister at the bedside saying, "Right, you obviously lost your leg," and the doctor tried telling me as well. And obviously at the time, I was on liquid ketamine, I think it was. I spaced out galore, mate. I couldn't really take it in, and then I will actually take it in because a week after the initial amputation, the doctor come back up and obviously tried to explain to me, right, we only chopped your ankle off because that's where you lost the circulation in your blood. We've got to amputate now above, like just below the knee kind of thing, so they've got to take more off.
Did it in stages?
Yeah. So what they've done is a rush operation. He said. So basically, the day of the crash, obviously they had to chop the ankle because the ankle and the foot was completely dead. So they chopped the ankle, and obviously to have a prosthetic leg, you can't have a prosthetic ankle, which makes sense.
Yeah.
There's nothing to actually support it. So obviously then they had to chop me below the knee. About a week after the initial operation, so obviously I had time to recover, wake up. I had all the stitchings changed after the week, and then he told me I had to go down again. I was thinking, how? Like, it's got this a bit scary, isn't it, really?
Oh, man, I can imagine.
But yeah, he took me down, mate. He told me I'm going to flash it, mate. The next thing I fell asleep, woke up, no leg again below the knee. So yeah.
What was so 19 years? You got the whole world ahead of you. I mean, you said at the beginning, you said you're ADHD. I've also got ADHD. Million miles an hour. I think people. I mean, I'm looking. You know, I can see you in your car talking. You know, people are listening. Can hear you have all this energy, all this like desire and drive. When you're a young man, you're a good-looking lad. You got the world at your feet. What you now got no leg.
Yeah, literally.
No, yeah. Like what?
Literally.
What's next?
It
must be an absolute clusterfuck of thoughts in your head. What now? Would you? Because you found some kind of identity on the building site with the boys. You know, doing that. Like, you know, that's now probably going to go because how do you carry around heavy sacks when you got on one leg? What was going through your head at that time?
Quite a lot, really. Obviously, I'm a qualified chef as well, so obviously being back in the kitchen, I'm pathetically slipping and sliding, and it's not ideal. So obviously, quite a lot was going through. I was just giving up, to be honest, because I went to the NHS obviously 6 months after losing a leg, they go through the initial fitting and obviously learning to walk again and stuff. And obviously, I at this time I was going through a lot of solicitors and stuff. I had a lot of police on my case and the questions asked. I was 19, didn't have much family support, going through all the solicitors and all the paperwork and stuff,
What
going
was the
for
solicitor
shared
stuff?
houses.
What was that about, the solicitor stuff?
Because obviously I went for a claim, so obviously I've got a bit of money for obviously filtering traffic. Obviously it's partly my fault, partly his fault. I got a bit of money at 19, and to be honest with you, mate, I sniffed it all. Yeah. So
Can you
yeah, if you
say?
choose 19-year-old lad,
Can you say? Can you say how much you got for losing a leg? What a leg is worth? What's a leg
it's not
being
worth. Well, in my eyes, give me 3 mil. It's probably not equivalent to a left
Of
leg because
course,
the struggle
yeah,
I have on a daily basis with my sons. It's
yeah.
obviously one of them, but
But
obviously
you
they
didn't
give
get
me well.
you didn't get 3 million.
No, I didn't get 3
No,
million. No,
no,
never,
yeah,
nowhere near 3 million, mate. No,
yeah,
nowhere near 3 million. I didn't even get a million to be honest, because obviously the time we pay your solicitor fees off and everything like this, obviously there's a 4 year case behind it and everything. Obviously they've got to assess you walking and everything. Obviously prosthetic legs and stuff. How much are they going to cost? I didn't get much. Obviously the last bit of my money I put onto a down payment onto a house. So obviously I now mortgage my house and my missus, which is good. So
yeah, yeah. Bloody hell. So you said so that's happened. That's happened in your life. You've lost your leg. You're now trying to figure out what is life going to be like. What? How? I mean, how do you get up from that? This whole podcast all getting back up. Like we get back up. Like how do you get back up from that setback? How do you get back up from losing your leg, being a young man with your whole life ahead of you? Was it? You mentioned earlier you lived day by day. Was it a day by day thing? What inspired you to want to keep going?
it's nothing inspired me to be honest. To be honest with you, do you know the truth of what happened after hospital?
Yes, please, mate.
I went to a shared house and obviously I was paying £150 a week to live there and I was at the top floor, so obviously newly amputee, it's a struggle. So obviously I kind of give up on life. So I went to the pub one evening to have a bit of a social life because obviously I didn't have much going for me. So I went to the social life, went to the pub and someone offered me a key of cocaine. Obviously after a beer I thought, oh, a bit of cocaine more and I'll give it a go. Got nothing going for me ever.
Because
Just
what
lost
else
my
have you
leg.
got? Yeah, what else have you got going on in your
Exactly.
life? Yeah,
Just lost my leg. Got out of hospital. I didn't really see my family. Lost most things. Like, what else am I going with? I don't work no more. The pub pushed it. I've had a beer. I feel a bit cocky. So I had a bit of a cocaine. And obviously that instantly put all the problems I had floating around in my brain to the back of my brain, and my leg grew back. So it went numb. So that's the start of a different story, mate. That's when I got hooked on the stuff and I got highly addicted to cocaine. I spent all my money on it. And yeah, mate, it was another story. I was here, there, and everywhere through that. So I thought being homeless was a bit of a journey, mate. But yeah, the cocaine and the alcoholism, Jesus Christ, that led me to some situation I never thought I'd get. So that's what kind of inspired me. So obviously, when I was 21, I got sectioned to rehab.
whoa. You're blitz. As I said, you're blitzing through so much stuff now. You're throwing things away which deserve to get spoken about because someone is going to listen to this and they're going to, again, like obviously you lost something very tangible. You lost a leg. Not everyone's going to lose a leg, but we all lose stuff. We all lose things in life. We lose people, friends, family, loved ones, right? We lose careers. I lost my boxing career. I lost the vision of my left eye. So I can relate to people can relate to losing me. It's not as traumatic as a leg in an awful accident like that, but we can all relate to stuff. So when you said it just then, when you took some coke at the pub, you said your leg went numb, and you felt like it kind of grew back a little bit. Explain what you mean by that.
All these sores and the prosthetic leg from the NHS wasn't great. It's very heavy. It's very sore. So walking on this prosthetic leg wasn't great. I was in my wheelchair with a prosthetic leg. So that at 20 years old, it didn't give me that kind of like. I want to walk to the pub, but I was in a wheelchair with a prosthetic leg. So when I done that cocaine, obviously, I stood up and I was thinking, hang on, this leg feels great.
Fucking hell, yeah, come
So
back to the old
Matty. Yeah. Hold this wheelchair, I'll put it behind the bar and off I go. So that was the start of that, and obviously I did get hooked on it. I've got quite an addictive personality.
But I guess you got rather. It wasn't really like, again. I'm not a psychologist, but like from hearing what you're saying, you didn't get hooked to the cocaine. You got hooked to the way it made you feel.
Yeah, I got hooked to numbing the reality from losing the leg.
Yeah,
that's what I got hooked to.
Yeah.
But little did I know, it didn't help me.
Of course, and I get that, right? And I had a chat with somebody recently. Like I try what I can to give money to homeless people. And I was with somebody last year, and he went to me, I gave him like $20. I gave him like $20. This homeless fellow standing by the road. You got a lot of them stand at traffic lights. give her $20. He said to me, "I don't do that. You're going to spend it on drugs." And I went, "And if he does, he does." But I said to him, like, it was in Atlanta. It gets cold in Atlanta in winter time. It gets really cold and nasty and bitter. And I said, like, if he goes to spend it on drugs to take him away from where he is right now, who cares? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I don't blame. Like, I'm big on talk about you being homeless and stuff, and I've never been homeless, but I can imagine it's a whole place to be. People ignoring you, walking over you, cold. Like I'd want to take myself away from where I was, numb the reality of it. I totally get it. I'm not condoning it, but it's understandable, man. And I just think, like, having the courage to sit here now and talk about your experience for the betterment of other people. I mean, I text you this morning, mate. Absolute legend. You are. I really think you are. And there's still so much to go. The climbing the mountain, the boxing, there's so much.
Yeah.
So how long did that last for? The cocaine and the numbing the pain, the masking the pain, the trying to drown yourself in the reality. Like, how long did that last for?
That went on for a good 9 months. Every day for a good 9 months.
And did it stop at cocaine? Did it go beyond cocaine?
Yeah, it's cocaine, pills here and there. Yeah, I did try a few other drugs, but it did mainly was cocaine. And then it got to the point I thought, oh, it's not really doing nothing. So obviously I wanted the cocaine to eventually kill me off. And obviously the cocaine didn't kill me, which made me very, very psychotic in the brain. To the point where I was up for 2 weeks, didn't have no sleep. And obviously I started hearing bumblebees.
But did at this point, you said you were suicidal, or maybe it was after this point. Well, when were you at your lowest? Because you said in that bio to me, you said you hit rock bottom twice. Which was your rock bottom? And when you said you were suicidal, did you actually want to die? Did you not want to be here anymore? Or did you just want the pain to end?
The first, the suicide from the losing the leg, yeah, I did want it to end because I didn't ever see a future. Because I wasn't getting nowhere before when I had 2 legs. So obviously losing the leg, and then I'm thinking, oh, I'm not going to get nowhere now. I've just lost the leg, so obviously it's all false hope. And obviously,
mate, that's so interesting to hear you say. I've got tingles. I always get tingles on this. When I get really inspired, I get goosebumps, right? And I was like, when you said you weren't getting nowhere with 2 legs, now you've lost a leg. What's the point? That's so powerful, because as we'll hear later, fuck it, I'm going to say it. I don't know if you're going to say it, but you said to me, I read it again this morning, you said to me, losing your leg broke you into a million little small pieces. But it was losing the leg that gave you the ability to rebuild you back up in the man you were supposed to be. Mate, that's so powerful, man. And this podcast is all about how the worst thing is, you are the perfect guest. You are the perfect guest. This podcast is for people like you that can take the worst thing to happen to them and make it into the best thing to happen to them. And, I mean, we've got loads more to talk about. We're 22 minutes in. We've got loads more to talk about. But going back to the suicidal stuff, like, you wanted to give up after the accident initially because, like you said, with 2 legs you weren't doing anything. With 1 leg, how are you ever going to make anything of yourself?
Yeah, what was ever going to do if you and then obviously, well, where was we? Well, after, should we talk about going to rehab?
Let's talk about the psychosis. You said so you started hearing bumblebees and again, most people, and like, thankfully, like, don't go to that level of extremeness and experience this. So for those that can't really relate, so I can't relate to that. I can relate to some things you talk about, but not obviously this. What is that like? How scary is that?
Well, at the time it was quite fun because I actually did have an imaginary friend with me, so I was following a shadow that actually was a nurse. So I was hearing voices that I was following that wasn't actually true, and that's part of psychosis. So obviously I was following for 2 weeks. I was just following nobody about, pretty much. I was just following my head. Here, that ended up in fields, strawberry fields, doing this, that, and the other with all different. At one point I was in the subway getting smashed on vodka and sniffing cocaine on my own. But initially in my head I wasn't on my own.
Really?
Yeah, it's quite crazy, to be honest. And obviously, loads of people thought, mate, you've got a bit weird. Because obviously,
and
people
could see you talking to nobody.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, my mate. Obviously, I was in the thing, and obviously, where I'd done so much cocaine, I've got a tick. If you heard of a tick through drugs, so obviously, every time I'd walk around, I'd just go. I'd tell her, you know when you ride a horse, you tick a horse.
Mm.
So every time my friend would try to talk to me, I'd tick. And he's like, what are you doing? But in my head, I'm ticking to my other friend who isn't there. So that's the way of me communicating away with other people. So I wouldn't talk to him personally, I'd tick to him.
Wow.
And that's where they got a bit weird. And obviously I didn't notice this, no one noticed it. And obviously the person who noticed it was obviously, I was with my mate Lincoln, and obviously he was a bit of a drinker as well. We had a little bender. And I started going a bit scatty, really. I was in my pyjamas, I had a woolly hat on, a pink woolly hat on. I was on a little pink trike driving through the town centre at about 3 in the morning. So, yeah, as you can imagine, mate, yeah, I didn't know how I got there. I didn't know what I was doing. I was with my real friend, but at the time I was going through with the other friend. But it's all a bit of a blah, blah. I reached out to my friend, my ex-boss, actually, who I was dry lining for. I rang him about 4 o'clock in the morning, but I tried ringing my mum first, actually. She didn't ring, so obviously she didn't answer, so obviously I thought, all right, give it, no, she's in bed, whatever, you should answer. And so I rang my boss, and obviously I broke down to him saying, mate, I very need help. Look, I'm suicidal as anything. I'm on my last bit of cocaine. I'm either going to top myself now or I need to go elsewhere, sort of thing. It was one of them. And obviously, by the sound of my voice, he thought, that's not the mat that worked for me. Like, that's not the mat that happens. And obviously, then he was straight down the crossroom, 4 o'clock in the morning. He come straight down there, mate. He locked me in the back of his van. He took me to St. James's, and I hospital in Portsmouth. And St. James was just shut, so then we went to QA, and then QA for initial assessment. They put me into a room. They'd done initial assessment. Obviously, they'd done an assessment or whatever within an hour section, mate. And there's actually no. There's no space in a local, like Elmlee's the local one. It's like a mental hospital, but there's no space. So what the government did, they obviously see me as a 21-year-old lad going through a shit time, didn't have no family, sniffed a shitload of drugs and going skate. So they've actually offered me a private place in Woking Priory. So that's where actually Deck, I believe it was, and Deck or whatever, that's where he went. So yeah, I went to that rehab, and obviously it's great stuff, mate. Obviously when I got sectioned, I went to it. It wasn't great at the time, obviously.
Of course.
But obviously meeting other people in the rehab made me kind of click. And it was a spark that was missing. I'm not a druggie. I haven't got a bad life. I've lost a leg. I've been through a shit time. I just need to get through it. And obviously the cocaine wasn't helping me get through it. It's marking it. It's making it even worse. So the rehab, obviously, I was only in rehab for a good, 2 weeks? Coming up 3 weeks. I should have done 28 days, but the doctor said to me, he looked at me and thought, right, you look a lot better, you seem a lot better in yourself. I'm going to give you the choice. Do you want to discharge yourself or thingies, or do you want to stay another 8 days? So I said to him, I was like, right, mate, let me sleep on it. So I went up to my room, slept on it. I actually sat there, like, put the twos and twos together, because there's people in rehab, mate. Like, there's a lady with 2 people assessment all the time. She had a nightie on, walk around, like a bit like The Grudge, if you've seen The Grudge.
Yeah.
She's walking down with her head down. She's done a bit like swaying side to side. And another lady at the coffee shelter, she thought she was a witch. She actually thought she was a witch. So obviously that's just about that. I kind of thought there's people in here that actually have it rougher than me. They can't help thinking they're a witch, or they can't help doing this or doing that. I could help it. I was making it worse.
Yeah.
So that's what got me off the drugs initially. I've done a few AA meetings, and I didn't really get much out of the AA meetings, because as a man, you know yourself, we hide it all in. We don't speak. It's probably one of the worst things I did, losing my leg, holding it all into myself, not speaking to no one. It's probably one of the worst things I've ever done. But I've learned my lesson, and yeah, I do speak now. It's probably the best thing to do if you do feel stressed. And my missus does take half that away from me. So yeah, when I got through rehab, mate, that's what gave me the spark to actually sort my life out and think, now I've lost a leg, not my life. Grow up and get on with it. And that's...
It sounds like they taught you perspective in that place.
Yeah, perspective. Just seeing other people, there's a millionaire in there as well. He actually told me he had a lot of money in his bank, and he actually purposely bought a Ferrari, and he said he got cocaine at his head, went to a VIP penthouse or whatever, got pissed up 3 days, smashed his Ferrari 120 miles per hour down the motorway and crashed it. He was high as anything. He did, and basically what he explained to me, he didn't know what to do with the amount of money he was receiving, so he just lived the life the way he wanted to. He didn't have no care for any other person on the road. He didn't have care for anyone else going whatever he was doing. So it's all about him. And that was quite an initial assessment, really. I thought, yeah, that's true, to be honest, because I've had money and I've not had money. So I've had £4 for a meal deal, and I've had 100 grand to put up my nose. And to be honest with you, it's probably easier not having the money, because then you don't get the people chasing you and the fake friends around you trying to get this, that, and the other off you.
Yeah.
So I can understand where he's coming from, where he just sniffed all his money, he went in the Ferrari with his mate showing off. It's one of them, isn't it? So you get a lot of people when you're doing good in life. There's a lot of people around you. But who was there for me when I was recovering? Who turned up in rehab when I was at my lowest? Who was in
Yeah,
hospital when I lost my leg? So
yeah,
look, it's one of them. I kind of had to do it on my own back. No one else was doing it for me.
yeah. So I think, without sounding too morbid, I think like all we really have in this world is ourselves. You know, like because I mean, I've got an amazing mum. I've got my amazing sisters and stuff. But like, all you've got is yourself, really. You know, it's all it's all you can really rely on yourself. Because people are, and I'm not saying anything mean. Like your mum, your dad, your brother, they may go eventually. Something you never know what's going to happen. What's around the corner. So you, yeah, you know, it's like I think it's really important to when you realise you've only really got yourself, then you kind of nourish that relationship with yourself, and you look, and that sounds like what you did, mate. Honestly, man, wow. So, okay, you said to me that your stint in rehab was that lit the fire. Lit the fire. Little Matty is dead now. What happened next?
Well, new Matty come back and he was a bit well, I wouldn't bipolar, but I had quite a bad episode where I was sober. I thought, yeah, oh, I'm living life, doing this, doing that. I ended up getting my own little flat. I had a case manager helping me try and obviously get back on my feet, whatever you want to call it. Um,
Can you laugh about it? Can you laugh and joke about your
yeah,
disability? Yeah,
of course.
yeah,
It's not a
yeah.
it's a different ability, not a disability.
Yeah,
It's a different ability.
nice. I was gonna.
And I appreciate, and I'm actually doing a documentary about disabled kids because obviously we get into it. Obviously, I've been discriminated for boxing, so obviously I've been the fight to prove the kids can do it if I can do it. So
Yes. And I'm glad I've got a question. I've got a friend of mine. It's a really good podcast. Martin is a podcast guest on here. He's disabled, quote unquote disabled table tennis player, and he's going to Paris Paralympics this year. He's gonna smash it. He's doing so well. He was born, and it's all about perspective. I tell the story all the time. It's all about perspective. He was born. He's got the youngest of four brothers, so not as big as a family as you, but you know, a crazy family up in Glasgow, up in Paisley. He was born no hands, 1 foot, and his one quote unquote normal limb. He's missing like 1 or 2 toes, so he hasn't got no real limbs. He's got born hands, and he genuinely right, but. That whole blessing thing, he genuinely believes, and I love Martin for this, he's such a lovely geezer. He genuinely believes he's the luckiest man in the world. Right? He's got a missus like you. We'll come on to your family in a minute, but he's got a missus, he's got a brand new baby girl. He competes for Team GB, table tennis. You think, how do you do that with no hands, right? And that's all that perspective. And the day we spoke, I had the ump for some reason. I was pissed off about stuff. I can't remember what it was. And in reality, it was so trivial to what this geezer is going through, right? He drives a car. He's got no modifications on his car. The only modification he's got, he drives automatic rather than you can't do the gear stick, right? But he uses his stumps. Mate, he's loving life. He's living his best life, right? And as you hear, but like your story is as inspiring as his story. It's all about perspective and the way you look at stuff. And we can't remember what I was going to say that. That's the reason why I was going to talk about Martin. But anyway, that in itself is tremendously inspiring. So coming out of rehab, did you said like that relit the fire in your life, but relighting the fire was all good. But when do you have a dream? Like when do you have a goal? Like what are you striving for? How do you not just go back to being young Matty? Do you mean like what are you holding on to? What are you chasing? In terms,
wow.
I mean, job
in terms
and
of
like in terms
job.
of what's going to stop you? And I'm asking you from you, obviously, a few years ago. What was going to stop you from going back to doing what you were doing?
In the matter of fact, I like going back to smoking weed and stuff.
Yeah, or just not being the person you said. The injury, you rebuilt yourself in the man you're supposed to be. So the man you're supposed. What is that guy? Who is he?
What now?
Yep.
What an absolute legend.
I hope people are watching this. But no, 100%. But like, yeah, but what is your purpose for being there? I know it's a really big question, right? But what I'm trying to say is what's stopping you from going back to being the kid that was going nowhere with one leg now? Like, because you're not him anymore. You're not him. You said
far from him. Far from him.
You want to inspire people. What was the whole why? Like, what stopped you from going back to being that person?
It's more I needed to move forward because obviously when obviously I come away from the cocaine and stuff, and obviously I got sober. That's when the PTSD hit, post traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah, yeah. And
So
what does that come
obviously,
out? How? What was that like? How did that manifest itself?
well, when obviously I moved in my flat, obviously I was on my own, obviously in my own headspace. I couldn't sleep at all. As soon as I put my head on that pillow, mate, tick, 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 I was reliving the crash. I was smelling petrol. I was hearing car alarms. It was crazy. For a good 6 months that was going on. And that led me to another downward spiral. I started hitting depression again. So I was in my flat, had my case management. She was trying to get me out, trying to do amputee football, ride bikes and stuff, trying to get me to walk again kind of thing, as well as me trying to cover the nerves from it. So obviously that was a struggle in itself, mate. So obviously after rehab, it wasn't only trying to learn to walk sober, it was trying to get over the emotional, mental state of it, trying to not relive the crash kind of thing. So obviously, 6 months down the line, my case management actually said, Matt, you don't look yourself. You're losing a lot of weight and you look very yellow. Are you okay? And obviously, I've admitted to her, I was like, I'm not going to lie, I'm on a biscuit diet. So obviously, for a good 4 weeks, all I was doing in my flat is walking to the local shop next door, eating biscuits, sitting in my wheelchair, smoking a lot of cigarettes. And I was quite depressed, mate. It was quite horrible, to be honest. It was quite a nightmare. She took me to the doctors. I've got a bit of, got antidepressants prescribed them. They started to pick me up a little bit, and then I was in touch with my brother-in-law, obviously my sister's fella, and that's obviously how boxing come about. Obviously, I've tried amputee football and stuff. I've tried most sports being an amputee. I couldn't really walk on the prosthetics. I couldn't do running. I couldn't do marathons like most amputees would get into. So yeah, his mate took me down to the boxing gym, well-known Hart Portsmouth in Portsmouth. And yeah, mate, well, put a boxing glove on. As soon as I punched that boxing bag, my leg grew back instantly, mate. That was like the cocaine. That was like free, mate. It should be prescribed in doctors, like, mate. Boxing is a lifesaver, I'm telling you. It's a lifesaver. I was so saved my missus and my kids, but boxing, mate, is a lifesaver. Like, it generally can be prescribed in doctors instead of all these. I'm sat outside the boxing gym now, getting ready to go because I'm fucking there for it. I like boxing, mate. Boxing's good. Like, good. It's good. And I've seen your podcast, mate, and you was a good boxer, mate. You got one of the Olympics, you smashed it, mate.
Mate, 100% boxing saves lives, man, and like
it saves lives, mate. I preach that.
you're bouncing off the walls in your car.
Mate.
Watch the sun. You might smash through the sunroof in a minute, mate. Boxing,
I know.
And I love how you said you put that boxing glove on, you threw that punch in the bag, and your leg grew back.
And the stress went away. The stress instantly went away, mate. Everything on my mind, the bills, saying like the flat, like the PTSD, the stress, the anxiety, like don't get me wrong, walking into the boxing gym when it's full of two-legged people, about 100 people wearing a boxing gym, I got very anxious. I was sweating gore before I even punched that bag. But I got in there and I punched it. As soon as I did, I instantly knew that was what I wanted to do.
Okay, so what made you, when you walked in that boxing gym, everyone's got two legs, right? Everyone is, from the world's perspective, they're able-bodied. And from the world perspective, not mine or yours, but you're disabled. What makes you not turn around and go back home?
My mental state to be like where I was 6 months ago to where I am now. Surely this is a better direction than going back home, getting on the joint or the back.
Yeah.
So that's what made me initially man up, suck the ball feeling up, the butterflies in the feelings. Oh, I'm going a bit shaky, I'm a bit anxious. Because I learned in rehab, people, when you're a bit anxious, like you sit on the bus and you're thinking, oh, everyone's looking at me, they're looking at my leg, they're looking at this, they're looking at that. Matt, they're not looking at your leg, mate. They're probably looking in the days that nothing. They're looking across the room and thinking, what am I having for dinner tonight? Am I curry or am I having fish and chips because it's Friday? Like, they're not looking at you, mate. Like, come on. And that's what I initially had to get out of, because when I lost my leg, obviously, at the age I was thinking, oh, no one's going to like me anymore. Obviously, I had a relationship at the time. Obviously, that didn't work out. Obviously, so I had to part through losing a leg as well. So obviously, at the time, I was thinking, oh, no one's going to love me. That's in the other. So it was like boxing, mate. Instantly thought I was the hardest geezer in town. You know what I mean? I thought, yeah. How many other amputees are coming in this boxing gym? You know what I mean? That was confidence boost for me, mate. Like, I instantly, I'm not a cocky geezer, but I knew that was what I was born to do. Because obviously, it's boxing, mate. It's instantly answered all the questions. So goodbye to these antidepressants. Ta-da.
Yeah.
And through boxing and the confidence it gave me, I met my missus, mate. So yeah.
Yeah, mate. I just loved it. Oh man, I'm so proud of you. Like what boxing makes you people feel empowered, inspired. The physical stuff, getting rid of the like you said, you got rid of the antidepressants. Man, that's so unbelievably inspiring, and that's so wow. There's nothing quite like, and I've got a fitness app, a Go fitness app that I'm launching very, very soon, and like, there's nothing quite like balling your fist up and punching, whether you punch a bag or just punch thin air, shadow boxing, releasing stress and releasing tension.
Yeah, definitely,
and get rid of all the anger. There's nothing like it. I mean, there's nothing like it, is there? You know, it's just
even when you brush your teeth and just like choosh, choosh, choosh.
So let's make it. So what I'm gonna do now on YouTube, I'm gonna have like you've sent me some videos of you boxing. I'm gonna put some videos now up of you boxing. Mate, that big backhand, that big of you cheeky little southpaw, hard punching southpaw, mate. That video you sent me, when you knocked out that geezer. So your first fight, you boxed a fellow amputee.
Yeah.
And he was an ex-marine.
Ex-marine or parachute regiment, I believe. Yeah.
Either way, you fucking sparked him out cold.
Yeah, he's actually a good boxer for the amputee, mate. He's actually meant to be the top deal. So obviously that was a good test for me. My coach said that's how it come about. Boxing, people telling me I was a powerful lad. And obviously they said, what about if we put you in with an able-bodied bloke and you just get knocked out? It's going to look a bit bad on us. So they found me one of the best boxers.
That's a very fair assessment. It's a very fair assessment.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
fair. Yeah, it's
geezer with one leg, you know, you're just going to be like, fuck.
I've never had a fight before, you know what I mean? I've only just started boxing. Like, what else could go wrong?
Yeah.
I can see where they're coming from, mate. Like, what else could go wrong?
Exactly. So that first fight, man? No. Before the fight, she walked in the gym. You saw the people with two legs, but you thought, you know, I'm going to do it anyway. Like, doing this is going to be better than where I was 6 months ago. So you walk in, you put the gloves on, you start punching the bag. You feel empowered. You feel like a sense of like belonging. That's why I asked you earlier. Do you feel like when you worked at the building, so you had that sense of belonging? But your real true belonging was in the boxing gym, right? Hitting the bag,
mate. Yeah.
And then you go from hitting the bags. So one question I got to ask you, as we know in boxing, all the power starts from your feet. The hand delivers the punch, but the power starts at your toe, it's all through the body. When you've got a prosthetic leg, how can you generate that power? How does it work?
Well, basically, this is the big discrimination case. Right, so basically, with one of my ankles, it's basically a walking ankle, so basically it naturally got springs that goes in this. I've never actually boxed in it, but England boxing used to say I was at an advantage in the ring, so that's why I wasn't able to box for England boxing. So I actually got a prosthetic made for, like, it's solid now, the foot doesn't. So I'm a natural disadvantage to you or anyone else in the ring.
Because you can't spring. No,
I can't spring. I've got no spring no more. I used to, but that's when they try to say, no, you're getting all the power from the foot because it's got a spring in it.
Yeah, I see. I get it. So people, I've had 4 Achilles surgeries. I've had bad Achilles in my life. Touch wood has been good for a long time now, but like ultimately when my Achilles were bad, I couldn't generate the same power because I couldn't push off the floor because it hurt too much. But when I fixed my Achilles, I now got my power back. And it sounds silly. How do you have that? So not for you, but like, how does one have an operation on their ankle and they can punch harder? Because all the power starts from your foot.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is with this spring, it's going to give you more power, but you've now developed something
with
no spring. Now you've got no spring, so
I've got no strength.
Your non-springy leg is going to be less good as a real Achilles tendon, so you can generate less power than an able-bodied person.
Yeah, but I'm still got that same power, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, like, so you go into the ring, you box now with no ability to generate power from that back from a solid foot, and you still bash people up, knocking people out.
And I've still got 4 knockouts. Yeah.
So that first fight where we talk about you box a fellow amputee, good boxer, former Marine or former military man. I'm gonna put up it now. A big over the top looping left hand you throw, and the poor geezer's out. You open your arms up
lucky shot. Yeah,
it wasn't lucky. You're like a Spartan. Your arms are wide, like just won the World Cup. What was that feeling like, mate? Because you must have never thought you were going to do that in your entire life.
No, I never thought. Wow, coming down the ring walk to that fight was just build up in itself. Like, everyone was like, Jesus Christ, you can imagine my ADHD going in and out, the nervous energy, everything building up. You've been there before. Jesus Christ, mate, everyone thought I was a wizard. So, yeah. I was going, whoop, 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 whoop. I probably used about 3 hours of energy walking around downstairs on your time, being tickets to the door. So,
I bet.
Yeah. And then we come down in the lift, I'll come running down the stairs, and that's obviously at this point he's been 12 years with a prosthetic, And I had 3 years with more prosthetic, so he's already had an advantage with his prosthetic leg.
He can move around. He knows what he's doing. You're still a
Yeah,
bit.
so he knows what he's doing. He's been at his leg longer. He's probably got used to it a bit better and stuff. Like, I'm obviously not saying it's easy having my leg, mate. It's flipping hard, and I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy, but yeah, we do get through it, and I'll do preach him for saying he don't get through it. But when we got in there, I did question it. I was thinking, he's going down the lift. Is that because it's hurting, or is it not? Like, sort of. So I started questioning. That's what made me feel a bit better about myself. I'm not the only amputee here. I'm not the only one with a sore leg. So obviously I've come jolting down the stairs, the ADHD kid I am, just running down the stairs like a fucking raging bull. Jumped in the ring and my leg started slipping. I was like, oh, here we go. All that nervous energy made me pre-sweat, so my leg started getting a bit slippery and sweaty. So I was like, oh mate, I'm going to have to just go all out. And obviously being the boxer I was, I had so much built up energy and so much anger for all these years of losing the leg, all this drugs I've done and everything. So I got in there and thought, you know what, fuck him, in the worst way possible. And I just swung for hell, hit loose, mate, and good shot, 16-ounce gloves, and he folded pretty much, didn't he?
He did, mate.
But I did get told to calm down because I did.
Which is natural. Which is natural for anybody.
Emotions, yeah.
But especially when you've been through the shit you've been through. And
definitely,
I think like, imagine what you'd have thought. You're sitting on your bed. You know, you've just been told you lost your leg, just gone down for another surgery to lose the rest of your leg. You know, and someone says to you, a couple of years' time, you're going to be boxing, knocking somebody out in round 1. You're going to be like, mate, shut up.
My drink out.
Of course.
Yeah, I went,
You know, and to be actually doing it. And then the boxing, and so carrying about the box, you've had the 10 fights now, 8 1-1. So after you knocked out him, you couldn't get a match with another quote unquote disabled person.
They tried matching me with another amputee. They couldn't find me anyone because Mike Lewis was actually a big name in the boxing world as an amputee. So after that, I went in with an able-bodied lag, and I got a first round stoppage with him as well, which was good. And that kind of proved the point. Oh, this lad's a bit of a businessman here. He's getting hit and he's hitting, so he's got the stability to become a boxer. So, and that's where my points started getting proved. And then kind of people started questioning my balance after, because obviously people started saying you can hit hard. So after that, they started saying, what about you getting hit hard? Can you be able to still fall properly or whatever? So then through kind of obviously I licensed boxing, I got a bit cocky. I'm not gonna lie, I like being punched. Like it's a good feeling being punched in the face. I'm not gonna lie. So I know it's a bad thing. I'm kids at home, but I do get into the habit and might kind of start going, getting a bit cocky with my arms down and stuff, just walking into the shots. I'm always on my front foot, and they're getting a bit intimidated by it. So they're throwing shots into my face. I'm stalking them down with one leg, thinking, hang on, this geezer's, you know what I mean? And that's the point proving. I've got a lot of balance, mate. You don't discriminate me there either.
Yeah.
So I started proving my point too much, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's where obviously I got the 4 knockouts, and I started winning against all these able-bodied blokes, and that's where the mounting come into it. Because I got too comfortable with being comfortable.
Yeah.
I was chasing something. Like I've always been chasing something to better myself, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I got too used to becoming a boxer, getting in there and knocking them out, kind of thing. So that's where I climbed the mountain on crutches. I needed to mentally push myself again.
So let's talk about that. So a segue in from the boxing. So I said to you today, you sent me your bio, as I mentioned a couple of times already today, and I'm looking at this thinking, wow, but I don't know you. I didn't know you prior to today. I didn't know the arc of the story. I'm thinking, I said, among all the other things you've done, I said, so what are some of your greatest achievements? Like, what's the big pinnacle? This podcast is getting back up. You get knocked down, and you achieve something great after the knockdown, after the setback. Then you're like this and this and this and this and this and this and this. And one of the things was you climbed Snowden. Yeah, you climbed Snowden, right? On crutches.
Yeah.
With one leg.
Just with one leg. Just the right leg, no prosthetic, just crutches. Just crutches.
And you showed me a little snippet today, like crutch. Mate, how hard was that? And why did you do it? And what made you do it?
Well, it was hard, mate. It was meant to be hard, but it was a push I needed. I've done it because my brother-in-law, so my fiance's twin, he went for a stillbirth a couple of years back. Oh. And obviously he started doing the cocaine, got into the thing, and obviously I run a boxing group for rehab patients now, so obviously I volunteer my time to coach other people through obviously drugs and drink and rehab and stuff. So I said, come down on a Friday evening, mate, skip the pub, come down and do boxing. He instantly saved his life. So he loved boxing. He got into the gym from there. And obviously I thought, oh, I need a mental push, so I'm going to give back to something. And obviously me Amputee climbing a mountain, all right, that's fun, mate. So my mate actually messaged me 3 days prior to the mountain climb. He said, oh, mate, you up for a challenge? I was like, oh, what's that, mate? I've been thinking about a challenge. He's like, oh, I'm climbing Mount Snowdon. My mate's dropped down if you want to travel up with me. I was like, oh, 3 days notice. Yeah, all right, mate. Yeah, ADHD, cool. Didn't even ask the missus, mate. I agreed to it. She, 3 days later, I went. She was like, eh? Hang on. You was being serious? Of course I was. But yeah, the initial climb crutches, I was actually meant to walk it with prosthetic leg. But that night, God's plan was to give me a fucking abscess behind the knee. It swelled up massive, and I couldn't get my prosthetic leg on at all.
Oh, that's why you did it on crutches. That's why you did it on crutches.
That's why I did it on crutches, mate.
Oh,
Yeah. So
mate.
initially, I thought, well, I ain't gonna give up. So I've given up all my life. Look, I'm not giving up on this. I'm climbing this mountain.
Say it again. You're not going to give up. Because
I'm not going to give up because I've always give up all my life, and now I've lost my leg and I've got through these barriers. I'm not giving up. I'm not going to give up again because now I've got kids. I'm going to be a role model to them. So if I don't give up with one leg, they're not going to give up two. Hopefully, fingers crossed, touch wood. And that's why I'm hopefully going to inspire other people. If they're sat on the sofa with 2 legs thinking I'm getting nowhere in my life, look at me and get up and go. Do things you think you can't do because that's when you get up and do it. Like it's a crazy thing to do, but. Yeah, so when I got out there with crutches, my mate was like, mate, you're not going to do that, mate. You're not going to do this, mate. And if you tell me I'm not going to do something, I'm going to do it twice and I'm going to take a photo and make sure I share it and all. Because I've been told I'm not going to do it fucking too long and I'm going to do it.
Wow. That's so inspiring, mate. What?
It took 6 hours up and down on crutches and it takes an average man with 2 legs to walk it, 7 hours, 11 minutes. And I got up and down in 6 hours.
Wow.
Boom. Watkins Park as well. It's full of flint and it's wet and slippery, but I wasn't giving up. And that's, mate, it was dangerous, I'm not going to lie. It was very dangerous, mate. It was snowing at the top and everything.
Just the mentality.
Jesus.
The mentality you saying, I'm not gonna quit. I love what you said.
I'm not going to quit.
You'd given up all your life, and now no more giving up. I
No,
love that, mate.
No more giving up.
There's a quote from a film, Vanilla Sky. Every passing minute is a chance to turn it all around.
Yeah,
and I love that because it's like you can quit, you can be a quitter or be a loser or whatever for so long, but every day we get another chance to turn it around and say no more, and you did that, mate. That's so inspiring, dude. That's so inspiring. Cheers, honestly, man. That's amazing.
That's what I'm here to do, pretty much. I just want to inspire people. That's my aim. And I really do believe that's what I've been given this journey for. I have been given this journey because I'm strong enough to live it, and I do want to inspire others. So if I can do it, so can everyone else.
And I believe that 100%. I really do. I want to finish. So that was one of your inspiring, one of your proudest achievements, moments, climbing the Snowdon and doing it for a great charity. I'm really, really proud of. I want to finish on some personal family stuff. Because you said your other proud achievement, you have a beautiful lady, you said, and have two boys, and a father and a partner. So go back. You're back in a wheelchair, and you've got real low self-esteem, suicidal. Did you ever think you'd fall in love? Did you ever think you'd be a dad?
No. Didn't even question my brain because obviously, like I said, when I had the 2 legs, I grew up. Obviously, it's a childhood relationship, we call it. So it was on and off. I was smoking the weed. I had the mood swings, arguments galore. We didn't work out. So obviously, after losing my leg, I thought my confidence hit rock bottom. And obviously, I never give it a thought, to be honest. I did. Obviously, I'll give it a thought, thinking, I'm going to go on my own now, give me my own thing. Look, I've wasted so many years doing this, doing that, having arguments. I'm not going to do that no more. So obviously when I went on and did my own thing, I didn't, to be honest with you, mate, I didn't ever look and think, I'm going to have kids and we're actually getting married this year as well. Never thought that would happen.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm getting married this year, mate. I never thought that would happen.
Dude.
Congratulations. Cheers, mate, thank you. But yeah, so, to be honest with you, it's just the leg made me. Like I said to you this morning, it was the leg that shaped me into man I was, because not only have I got life experiences, I've come across to some people a lot older than what I am, kind of thing. So, and that's why I like helping others, because obviously I'll speak to 40-year-old men thinking, mate, I ain't been through half the fucking shit you've been through. So hearing that is why I'll give my time to others as well, like you do as well. Like get back up and go, kind of thing. Obviously, there's so many people that give up so quickly nowadays, and it's so sad to see. And it's sad to see, mate. Because the suicide rate at the moment is crazy as well. It's just, God bless all the men that take their life as well. God
Yeah.
bless.
And you mentioned earlier, I want to get back to the family, but you mentioned earlier, talking, being open, talking to people is the best thing you've done.
Yeah,
Having
definitely.
somebody to
That's the
talk
best
to.
thing I've done. Yeah. Especially, well, my missus is my backbone, really, mate. She is the confidence I've got. She's the heart to the home now, as they say. Well, yeah, she is the backbone I've got. So I'm one of them people. I'm going to double check the missus before I do it, kind of thing. So I do
Other
make
than
rash
other
decisions sometimes.
other than Snowden, other than Snowden.
Yeah, I've started, mate. She actually thought I was joking because no one gets my personality when I'm making a joke. So I'm like, they're like, "Ah, you joking?" 3 days later, I'm getting picked up at 7 in the afternoon and 7 in the evening. We travelled, 8 hours to Wales? Mate, I had 2 hours sleep. I ate one pepperoni. 4 in the morning, I was climbing the mountain, see the sunset on crutches. Don't ask me, mate. Like, 3 days prior, I had all these news companies on me and everything. Ringing. I was thinking, hang on a minute. Like, did I sign up for this? So, what am I doing? Yeah.
So, how do you meet your missus? Who asked you out? How did they come about?
I actually met my missus through the gym. So obviously after getting into boxing, obviously give me a bit of confidence. And then my brother-in-law was at the local gym doing a bit of swimming and stuff. So obviously I went down there, done a bit of swimming there. Obviously got a bag of protein from the local protein shop. Started doing a few weights. I thought, oh, I'm buff. Look at me, I've got my legs. That's unique. So yeah, prior to that, obviously I actually met my missus when I was actually on the old drinking stuff. I met her at an engagement party, my mate's engagement party, because she's an older lady. She's a bit older than me. Not older lady, she's older than me. But yeah, so I met her at the gym, believe it or not. And brother-in-law was like, "Oh, did you give her a message?" So I walked past her, like, "Yeah, why not? So you can only have one shot, can't you? It's online. What could go wrong?" She told me the F off. You ugly little one-legged twat. But yeah, so I'll give her a message like, "Hello," the most bluntest message, "Hi," or whatever I said. Then she replied, "Hi." And it just went from there, mate. Just clicked off. She was in Greece, I was in Thailand at the time, doing a bit of Muay Thai. It's a bit crazy. And then we got back. We actually went on a day to the gym on a swimming. We went swimming. It's a good first day, not gonna lie. And yeah, it's different to the first days most people go on. Most people go to the pub or have a bit of food or something. But me and my miss went swimming. She got chatted up by a Down syndrome man, which is quite funny. We had a laugh.
Nice.
We learned from a saving in the sauna, which was funny as well. And we just clicked. And it just went from there. She had a son, so I took on her son at 4. He was 4, so I took on her son as well. So obviously throughout my recovery, and now I'm a stepdad as well. But yeah, mate, they kept me sane, and then obviously we got a house, and then we got obviously I've had some with her now, and obviously that just keeps me going. The 2 boys, I just they're my life, mate. So my missus, everything I do is for them, and that's just boxing and my family. That's all I love doing nowadays. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're boring. You don't come out. You don't do this. You don't do that." I'm like, mate, give me a pair of gloves, I'll be there. Like, it's either that. Like, give me a pair of gloves or take me to Poppins Park. It's no in between, really, is it?
Yeah.
Like, I'm either with my family or I'm in the boxing gym. Like now, I'm sat outside the boxing gym, rarely go to. I just go do about 12 hours sparring. What day?
Mate, so am I. Right, let's wrap this, mate. Let's wrap this up so you can go and train. What where you said you want to inspire people, and for that you need to kind of get your name even bigger than it is now, and people to hear your story, to be inspired by your story. So where can people kind of follow you or reach out to you or contact you if they want to?
Well, my Instagram is Matt L. Edwards, and I've got a YouTube channel I've started off. So I've only been on it a few months. I'm not doing too bad. I've got about 28k views already. 100 subscribers in 2 months. So
Amazing.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. So yeah, so what is it? It's like an amputee boxing. It's Matt Amputee Boxing or something. I don't actually know what it is. I'm not good with technology, mate, to be honest. But if I send you the link, I'm sure you could do some sort of magic.
Mate. Yeah, we'll put it up. Send me the link. We'll put it over here and stuff, and on Instagram.
Yeah,
we'll collab. And then, okay. So what I was going to say was, you mentioned you went through. We haven't spoken. I said there's so much to talk about. I haven't really had time to talk about it.
So much to talk about. Yeah, I know.
But you went up against England boxing, and you can't. As you kind of touched upon, you're now allowed to box for England, right? In the championship and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not actually boxing for England, unfortunately. They still haven't let me box. But I am boxing amateur now.
That's box amateur. That's a box amateur in England.
That's why I box for the Lawrence. That's London Lawrence Amateur Boxing.
Gotcha. So they recognise you as a. They recognise you.
I'm an able boxer now.
Exactly. They don't discriminate
So
I'm
medically signed. Yeah, I'm medically signed off to fit for 3 years. obviously England, they was still in the dark ages. They're not. I'm never going to the Olympics, mate. You're never going to see me on the Olympic stage with one leg. Get over it. You know what I mean? Paralympics, no do either, because you get above the knees, below the knees. There's a lot of people, and in my eyes, I don't want to be in the disabled category. So I am the disabled man going in the abled ranks. I am truly. It's a big thing I'm doing, but I believe I belong there. I belong there, so I'm doing it, and a lot of people have told me I belong there. That's why I'm giving it a shot. And I believe one day I could be on the world stage and show people I belong there kind of thing. I just need to keep fighting behind it, because now I've gone amateur. That's all I need behind me to eventually go professional. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah, mate. And if you ever turn pro, and if that's what you want to do, I'm all behind you. You'll make some money, mate. You'll sell tickets. You'll make money. The way you fight, the tenacity, how hard you punch, you as a person, mate, you're gonna make some serious dough.
You mentioned free, and no one's ever seen an amputee on the world stage knocking two-legged men out.
100%.
It'll change boxing. It'll completely change the world of boxing. It's a shame that they're not seeing it, but if one day I will show them I can do it, and so can others.
Not seen it yet, mate.
Not seen it yet, but one day hopefully. One day I'll see it quite a lot.
Mate, this has been such an enjoyable podcast. A lot of the time, these podcasts are they're sad and they're hard. I talk with people, talk about their really shit experiences, and a lot of the time they are coming out the other end, but they're not really there yet. So it's hard. And I leave the podcast, although I feel inspired, I feel at least heavy. This has been so much fun. It's been so much fun to talk to somebody you've been through some real tough times as well. But I'm so proud of you. Without even really knowing you, where you are now today. Man, it's inspiring, man.
I started already, and I'm like, wow, man, where did it come from? Look, I've got this, and this is just my bad boy leg. Look, this is amazing, isn't it? That's a trophy to life now, isn't it, really? I have to put my leg on because they're talking to me on the night. It's hard to get over it, mate. There's other people that struggle worse than I do to get over it.
100%.
That's exactly how I feel.
100%, mate.
I've got one leg, but if I go down the road, there's going to be someone with no legs or no arms, like you said, for instance, but he's still thinking his life's magical. This is what I do now. I look at other people and I feel like if I could do it, it's just one of them circles. Some people get bitter with it. I could have got bitter against the world, but people don't help me carry my shopping bags when I'm on crutches, for instance. They're bitter towards me. They don't help me. I'm a disabled man on crutches, no legs. Surely you're going to hold a door. But I don't really get that. I could have turned bitter on the world, but I never did. I'm like helping the world because that's what we need. We need more people to help the world, because it could be a good place for it. Mate, it could be.
That you can either be bitter or get better, and you've definitely got better.
Bitter or better, mate. 100%. Yeah, I believe that, mate. I was bitter for a bit. Now I'm 100% better. 100%.
Yeah, and mate, I'm really inspired because I'm the same. When I hurt my eye, I was watching people that I've beaten. I'm better than become world champion and become millionaires.
Yeah. Yeah,
I was bitter for a while. I was bitter for too long. I don't want to admit how long I was bitter for.
But you was a good boxer, mate. It's unfortunate about you. That's a tragic accident. That really,
and it's crazy,
really,
man. And I appreciate. Thank you, cheers, man. I appreciate that. But it's crazy to hear you say that, because I lost most, but you've lost a leg. And I can wake up in the morning, or I can wake up at 2 every night. I wake up at 3 in the morning. I go for a piss. I get back in bed, go to bed. And because my eye,
like a dog.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I bump into things now and then because my eye. I'll knock over. I'll knock over a cup of tea on the table at least twice a week because I don't see it and I'll knock it over. Right? But I can go for a piss in the morning, and you've got to crawl or you've got to put your leg on. It's like it's perspective, isn't it? It's perspective, and it's when you realise some poor fuckers out there getting away worse than you. Don't be upset. Yeah. Don't be a baby. Get on with it. You know, life's okay. Life's okay.
Yeah.
And,
life's what you make it at the end of the day. It's hard. It's hard, but you either. Well, I just got used to it. I just got used to it. Like, it was hard. I just got used to it. Maybe.
Life is what
never getting easier. Yeah, it's never getting easier. You just get used to it, and you just got to make it what you want to make it.
Mm-hmm.
And look, you now, you was probably sat there for so long and thinking, I could have been this, I could have been world champ, I could have been making millions in the world race. But now you're sat here on the other end of my screen, and you're inspiring me by doing a podcast because I'm looking at you as a boxer now who's trying to make it, looking at you thinking, look at you, like there's a reason you're doing these podcasts kind of thing. So it's not just it's a low circle, mate. You're doing a good thing for me as well as I'm doing a good thing for you, and this is what life's about. It's that's what it's about.
Mate, it's putting
there's a reason you're doing it.
Thank you, man. There's a reason why you're doing what you're doing. Matt, I think this has been a fantastic chat. I think we should wrap it up now. It's been so fantastic.
Yeah. Thanks for the opportunity, mate. I really appreciate it.
No, man, thank you. Thanks for sharing your story so honestly and openly. Mate. Let's make a deal. Come back on in the future and let's have a catch up where you're at now, all the things you've been doing.
Yep.
And I want to see you get as big as you can, both inspiring people and boxing. You know, and I just, man, I'm a huge fan of yours. Huge fan.
That's my mission, mate. I'm not going to give up because, like I said, I don't give up no more. Good. So you can discriminate me all you want, but no leg, no excuse in my eyes.
No leg, no excuse. Boom, mate.
And do you know what my new one is? Do you know what my slogan is?
Go on.
Float like a butterfly, sting like an amputee. Boom. Cool, isn't it?
On that one, mate. Take care, cool. And I'll let's catch up again soon.
Take it easy, Thank you very much.
What a nice fella Matty is, man. What a nice guy. So much energy, so much passion. I mean, he just, wow. We haven't spoke much. We sent maybe 5 or 6 texts to each other before we created a podcast. So one of those ones, for me, when I podcast people, it's always difficult because, well, sometimes it's difficult because when the person's famous, I can go on Wikipedia or research them. Always more than Wikipedia. I do my proper research. But when there's somebody like that, there's nothing really out there in the world about Matt. And it's one of those ones where I'm not too sure how it's gonna go. I'm not too sure when I press record on the button, like where we're gonna go. I'm so inspired right now. I'm so pumped. I feel I've got so much passion in my body because hearing Matt talk, man, like what a nice man. What a lovely fella. He has every right to be bitter and pissed off and angry. Where's it gonna get him? He is being better, not bitter. I mean, I just love that podcast. Perspective. There's always somebody else in the world worse off than you, and he realised that when he was in the Priory and he saw the lady who thought she was a witch or this person or that person. You know, well, it's life. Like, life is hard. And he said to me, mate, life is really hard. He's got 2 little kids, two young boys, and he has 1 leg, and it's hard. He can't do things as freely as a classically able-bodied person could do. But what's the alternative? Go back to smoking weed and doing cocaine and getting nowhere in his life. Mate, he's just such an inspiring person, and he punches really hard. I've watched his tapes and snippets on unboxing. Goes to the gym. When we spoke, he lives in Portsmouth. He's up in London today doing that. When we spoke, in the car, talked to me for an hour, waiting to train. I mean, just going through the rigmarole of that and then training and going back. I mean, this guy is destined for the top, whatever that may be. I don't know where that may be. I hope this guy really just grows as a name and as an inspirational figure. What a lovely man. There's so much there in that podcast, so many nuggets of inspiration to take and perspective. And that's the thing, I love this podcast because I get inspired. Like, and I can be a bit miserable. No, I laugh a lot. I do laugh quite a lot, but I went through a period, I mentioned it then, like I went through a period where I got really bitter for a while, and it almost came habitual. It was like Murphy's Law, like what can go wrong will go wrong with me. And I kind of like self-perpetuated this kind of negative like mentality, and it's not until I hear stories like that, it's like, no, like, yeah, shit, things happen, and what? Like, what you can do about it? Are you gonna sulk? Are you gonna complain? Are you gonna smoke weed, do drugs, be in the pub all day, like complaining that I could have been, I should have been? Or are you gonna go and do that? You're gonna strive for that. And it's that's what Matty's doing. He has every right to be bitter, as I mentioned. Yet he yearns and strives to be better. After a couple of years of sulking, I'm the same. Again, my injury is very different to his, but I can be a bit annoyed, I can be a bit pissed off now and then, but I yearn and strive to be better, and to do this podcast and to bring inspiring weekly chats and conversations with people like Matty to you guys that are listening to this, and I hope you're feeling inspired. And yeah, the usual outro is, listen, life is gonna get tough. You might lose a limb like Matty, like you might lose vision in your eye like me, you might lose something else in this next week or next month, year, or so on. You're gonna get knocked down, wherever that may be. You've always got to get back up, like Matty did, like I've done time and time again. Always get back up and fight for the thing you want most. Stay in the fight like Matty stayed in the fight. That's what life's all about. It's hard. Oh, before I wrap up, him climbing Snowdon. I'm going to try and put a little video up on my Instagram or on this podcast. He sent it to me this morning. He's got his crutches up in his, that poor geezer, mate. His wrists must have been so sore, and it's how slippery and it was snowy. Goodness, no, he's not a poor geezer. He's a strong, resilient character. And I love what he said. He said he could have easily not done it. He meant to do it with his prosthetic leg. He had a big abscess in the back of his knee. He could have easily just like, I'll do it next week, or I'll get around to it. He said no. He'd given up so many times in his life, and he refused to give up. No more. He rebuilt himself in the way he wants to be, in the man he was supposed to be. That's so inspiring. The Vanilla Sky quote, where every passing moment is another chance to turn it all around. You can be whoever it is you want to be. And you may have given up, you may have been a loser, may have been a quitter for a large part of your life. Guess what? You're still alive. That means you can turn it all around, just like Matty did. So on that one, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, lovely people here at the Getting Back Up podcast. Always get back up. You can turn it around whenever you want to turn it around. Until next week, take care, and I will see you very soon.